Chapter 12. Winters are very cold in Chicago. Sometimes it's hard to even want to leave the house. It was so cold on Christmas that we just stayed home. Plus, Mom had to work some on Christmas Eve. Luckily, New Year's Eve isn't too cold. Mom decided we should do something special and celebrate it in Wisconsin Dells. Even though we have trees near our house, I never see as many trees as where we're in Wisconsin. The woods are so pretty, and there's so many winter activities, more than we could ever do in Chicago. Also, I am very happy to get away. I don't want to think about the presentation or school. Don't you want to go to Jamaica instead? I suggest to Mom. Jamaica is much farther away, I think. Mom just laughs. I wish, she says. How about when we become famous explorers or artists, we'll go. As I imagine deep sea diving, or better yet, my artwork on display in a museum, I feel okay about not going to Jamaica quite yet. Our favorite activity in Wisconsin Dells is snowshoeing, so we go to the moment we arrive. First, you have to wear these shoes that look like gigantic tennis rackets. They help you trek across the snow and also make you look sort of funny when you're walking. We look like penguins, Mom says as we waddle in our snowshoes. I think we look like humpback whales because we're puffy from our clothes, I say. No, we look like spies, says Nick. Except if this were a spy movie, we would wear all white and we'd be running away from that bad guy who were wearing all black, I say. Mom shakes her head. If you were wearing all white, I couldn't see you. I want to be able to see my niños. Because snowshoes are heavy, Mom and Nick are able to walk much faster than I can. After a while, I fall behind. Hey, slow down, I say, panting. Sorry, slowpoke, Nick calls back. I groan. He turns around to look at me. You better walk fast, too. Everyone knows that Bigfoot lives here. He especially likes to eat little girls. You're lying. He's not real. I stomp my foot. Then I take a quick glance around. It's eerily quiet. Come on, let's go. Walk a little faster, Stella. There's so much to do today, Mom says. Nick likes to scare me sometimes. He told me once when we were going swimming that there were alligators in the lake. It scared me so much I couldn't go in the water for the rest of the day. When we got home, I researched alligators. Turns out there are no alligators in Illinois. When I showed Nick the website, he just shrugged and said, You never know. Now, I'm pretty sure that Bigfoot isn't real, but I can hear branches moving. It probably is just the wind, but I'm going to double check when I get home. I yell, Mom, and run to catch up with them. I keep up, but after a while, I start feeling tired. Looking out for Bigfoot and wearing snowshoes is exhausting. Nick, can you carry me? He squats down, and I jump on his back. I'm only doing this because we look bigger and more intimidating to Bigfoot, he says. I can't see his face, but I know his secret smirk is there. I giggle and hug his neck a little tighter. It's hard to stay mad at Nick for too long. Stella, we're almost to the car, Mom says, patting Nick's head. We'll grab lunch and then we'll have more fun. During the car ride, I notice some little huts on the lake. These are for the ice fishers. Seeing them reminds me of my school project about ocean life. I haven't told Mom or Nick about the new presentation part of the project. I don't want them to think I can't do it or can't handle it. I think Nick would make fun of me, and Mom has enough problems with work. I don't want to make her worry when she doesn't have to. Are you thinking about your project? Mom asks. She can magically tell what I'm thinking without me telling her. Yep, I'd say to Mom. Mom? Yes, Stella? Do you ever get nervous talking in front of large crowds? No, why? She replies. I sigh. That's not what I was hoping to hear. Just curious. Really never? She pauses. Not really. Your abuelo was a performer. I was just so used to seeing that. Her response doesn't make me feel any better. In fact, I feel worse. Thankfully, Nick says. Oh, good, there's a restaurant. After a hot lunch, we walk around downtown Dells. Even though it's New Year's Eve, the streets are still covered in Christmas decorations of snowflakes, reindeers, and snowmen. I start to wonder how we would celebrate the holidays in Mexico. I can't picture Mexico City in the snow. I'm also pretty sure a snowman would just melt there. So I asked Mom, Mom, what do you do for Christmas in Mexico? Nothing. Like this. It's too warm there. We just celebrated our family and our friends, actually. 3 Kings Day is kind of a big deal in Mexico, more than Christmas for kids. Really? I've never heard of it, says Nick. It's fun. You leave your shoes out and 3 wise men leave presents overnight. Can we do that next year, I ask? Nick says, Yeah, I want more presents. Well, we live in the States. I just don't think to do it. I wanted you guys to fit in. I sigh and think to myself, but if I don't fit in, Mom, and I'm different from the people in my class, I'm an alien. Suddenly, I picture Pancho swimming alone in his fish tank. He can't be around other fish, but he also can't live outside of the water. He doesn't belong anywhere either. Chapter 13. Ring, ring. It's Dad, yells Nick after that he answers the phone. I run over. Really? I whisper. It's January and we just spoke to him on Christmas. He usually never calls this soon after Christmas. Nick nods and he covers the phone. He's going to be in Chicago in a couple of months for work. He also wants to know whether to go out to get whether we got our presents. Our Christmas presents this year were more gloves and socks from Tio's store. Big surprise. Also, like usual, they look like nothing we'd ever wear and they don't fit right. Put my ear to the phone and listen with Nick. Yes, we got our presents, said Nick. Good. Got to make sure my niños are warm. Then Dad said, you know, I'd do anything for you guys. Nick rolls his eyes. Good thing we're not on video. When school starts back up for winter break, it's cold. We actually end up using some of the new gloves and socks. Sadly, Jenny's not there. She has a cold, which means I have to eat lunch without her, and it's a little scary. I'm not really friends with anyone else, so I'm not sure where to sit. At lunchtime, I look around the cafeteria. My options are slim. I also know that I can't eat anywhere near Jessica. I scan the room, looking from table to table, searching for a friendly face when I finally spot Lauren, who is reading another Nancy Drew book. Yes, I think. When I walk over, Lauren makes room for me without even asking. I nod my head. This will be good, I think. We both like to be quiet. To my surprise, though, Lauren is pretty chatty today. She asks, how's your ocean life project? It's good, I say. My drawings do look good. It's the presentation I'm worried about. I pause and look at Lauren. She looks so excited that she has a secret she wants to share. So I ask her, how is your project? I've been trying to ask more questions, as Jenny suggested. It's working some, especially with Lauren. She leans in. Well, my project is great. Don't tell anyone, but I'm going to bring my uncle's parrot for the presentation. Miss Bell said it was okay. She sits up a little taller. That's really cool. She nods. Lauren looks so proud. I don't mean to, but I frowned for a split second. I don't know how Miss Bell could have agreed to this. It's simply not fair. A parrot can talk and sing. That's like presenting with a partner whom you know everyone will like. What am I going to do? I can't bring in Pancho. I love him, but he doesn't talk. Most people would be bored just watching him swim. Maybe I can be like the Wizard of Oz, the wizard in the Wizard of Oz, and do my whole presentation from behind a curtain. Recess is much harder, and lunch without Jenny. It's too cold to be outside, so recess is in the gym. It feels lonelier there because everyone's so close together. And then we would be in the playground. When Jenny is not there on a warm day, I can just hide underneath a slide. I decide to bring my notebook and pen to recess. I am determined to figure out my presentation. So I sit on the bleachers and open the notebook to a blank page. I write presentation on the top in big letters. I underline it 3 times. I think, then think, and think. Nada. Nothing. Frustrated, I close the notebook. As I start looking around the gym, I see Jessica playing jump rope with a few girls. It looks like fun, but I feel so shy to ask to play. Plus, I don't want to deal with Jessica. Unfortunately, Jessica notices that I'm looking. She curls her lip. Stella is staring. Maybe she's stupid, says Bridget. I bunch my fingers in the little fist by my side. When I hear the word stupid, I can feel my heart pounding like drums in my chest. I feel hot, roja, with anger. People can say I'm strange or different, but I am not stupid. I stand up without thinking and say in a loud voice, I am not stupid. Jessica's eyes get big for a second. She looks surprised, even a little nervous, but that only lasts a moment. Bridget starts laughing and Jessica joins her. Thankfully, Stanley walks over with Ben and asks them if they want to play tag. Do you want to play tag, Stella? Stanley asks, turning to me. That's okay, Stanley, I say quietly as I sit back down. If he'd asked if I wanted to play hide and seek, I might have said yes. I'm a really good hider, and today feels like a good day to hide. When I get home, I lie on the rug in the living room. Feeling alone is very tiring. I wish I could just move back to Mexico. Then I realized I wouldn't have been able to defend myself there like I did today. I would have just replied in English to some mean kid who was speaking Spanish. At least Jessica understood me. That's it. As soon as mom gets home, I'm going to ask her exactly how to say I'm not stupid in Spanish. Nick walks over to the computer, sits down, and turns it on. Rough day at school? He asks as he starts to play a video game. I sit next to him. Nick? Yep, he says. He's staring at the screen, so it feels easier to talk to him. Did you know we're aliens? He gets quiet. He pauses the game and looks at me. You know, that's not aliens like in outer space. You're not ET. I know that, but it still means we're different. Okay, yeah, it sounds bad, but it's really not. He opens a new window on the computer and types. Then he points to the screen. It's a very official government looking website. See, here's the definition. Alien. It's an individual who's not a US citizen or a US national. I bite my lip and nod. Seeing that didn't really help. Nick gets another idea and types something else on the keyboard. A new window pops up. Look, the word alien is derived from the Latin word alienus, which means stranger or foreign. I look at him. That doesn't make me feel better. Okay, so we're aliens, but you're not a weirdo. You're my sister, mi hermana. But then, why do kids at school say I'm weird? Today, one of them said I was stupid, which is not the truth. I cross my arms. Nick's face looks sad. I never really told him before that kids make fun of me sometimes. Sis, you're not stupid. You're the coolest, smartest, almost 9-year-old I know. You're just saying that, I say, looking at the ground. No, I'm not, he says, lifting up my chin. Plus, so-called aliens, he says, putting in air quotes, around aliens are some of the smartest people. Albert Einstein was an alien. He was from Germany. He's pretty smart and cool, right? I nod. Jenny's mom is an alien. I nod again. That's true, and if she hadn't moved here, I might not have ever met Jenny, which would have been terrible. Plus, I'm an alien, and I'm the coolest, right? He says, putting his hands on his chest. I move my hand to side. So. Nick laughs and continues. Aliens are just people from different places, and different places can be awesome. Can you imagine if we were both born here? If you weren't Mexican, mom wouldn't know how to make albondigas. I gasp. I had not considered that. Or worse, we just call them meatballs instead of that, and that would be way more boring. Sin sabor. That makes me feel a little better. I like it when Nick listens to me. Still, I can't help but feel scared thinking about the presentation. What's the frown about? He asks. Nick is being so understanding that I blurted out. I have to do a presentation with my first project. I have to speak for a whole 5 minutes in front of the class. I'm nervous, I confess, dropping my head into my hands. I remember the first time I had to do that. It was scary. I look up. I can't even picture Nick being nervous. He's so good at school presentations. Once I saw him do a debate in front of the whole school. I have no idea what to do, I say, scratching my head. Well, first of all, we'll practice. I sigh. Yeah, I know, it sounds silly, but it helps. Then he pauses for a good moment. And maybe mom can take us to the shed aquarium. The shed aquarium? Nick is the smartest. We've never been, but I've always wanted to go. It's all the way in downtown Chicago. It was the largest aquarium in the world for the longest time. I throw my arms around him. All right, he says, hugging me back. I can see the small smirk on his face. It'll be good. We can do some more research and get some ideas for your presentation. Yes, I exclaim. And don't worry, I'll help you, sis, he says, then nudges me. He puts 2 fingers above his head like antennas. We aliens have got to stick together.